meeting to order. I'd squel, I'm not I'd squelloin, Quanasilam Nala. I'd like to acknowledge that this meeting is taking place on the lands of the Hulkaminam speaking people, specifically the Quamatin village. The Board of Education is honored to be able to collaboratively walk beside the Cowichan, Malahat, Subasat, Halalt, Penelakut, Stamanis, and Lyaxan peoples who have cared for this land for thousands of years. May we walk gently on the unceded territories of their lands as we work together to lift up all the Hahasmanam. Before I ask for motion for the agenda, this week, June 1st to 7th, 2026, is BC Child and Youth in Care Week. Proclaimed by the Province of British Columbia in 2011, BC Child and Youth in Care Week is a time for everyone in communities across the province to support and celebrate our province's incredible, diverse young people in government care. Youth envisioned a week that acknowledges and celebrates the unique strength of young people in care, and that's how BC Child and Youth in Care Week was created. Motion to adopt the agenda, please. Moved by Trustee Sousa, seconded by Trustee Doman. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion to the minutes of the May 5th, 2026 open meeting, moved by Trustee Thorne, seconded by Trustee Lise. All those in favor? Thank you. Approval of the consent agenda that the Board of Education of School District 79, Cowichan Valley, approves the agenda for June 2nd, 2026 open board meeting as presented. Moved by Trustee Thorne, seconded by Trustee Croft. All those in favor? Thank you. And we have lots of recognitions and delegations in the room tonight. So tonight we're going to start off with the Skills Canada Provincial Medalists. So the Board of Education would like to recognize the 7 students from the Cowichan Valley School District who competed and won medals at the Skills Canada Provincials held April 15th in Abbotsford. We would like to congratulate Damien and Ethan on their outstanding performances at Skills Canada Provincial Competition. Damien earned a silver medal in job skills demonstration, where he confidently and professionally showcased the safe operation of various carpentry tools to members of the public. Ethan earned a gold medal in carpentry, demonstrating exceptional craftsmanship while constructing a doghouse. Unfortunately, neither student was able to join us today, but we are proud to recognize their achievements and the excellent representation of our district. We are pleased to recognize Lydia for her outstanding achievement as this year's Skill Canada Culinary Arts Competitions. Lydia demonstrated exceptional talent and dedication by earning a gold medal at the regional competition held at Vancouver Island University, which qualified her to compete at the provincial level. At provincial, she proudly represented our district and earned a bronze medal with an impressive menu featuring a delicious tomato gazpacho. Am I saying that right? Yeah. Oh, there you are. Thank you. And a beautifully prepared chicken. Ballotine? Yeah. Perfect. Lydia's success reflects her work, skill, and passion for the culinary arts, and we congratulate her on her remarkable achievement. And I have got something for you here. Lydia, congratulations. Also joining us tonight are Francis Kelsey students' robotic teams, Connor and Corgan, and Josh, who earned a silver medal in robotics at Skills Canada Provincial Competition. These students dedicated countless hours designing, building, and testing their robots. The team had a thrilling final match at the provincials. They missed out on placing gold by losing a few points on closing seconds. Well done. Where are our robotics people?
And Yi Ching is here as well. I just think
sorry.
I thought he was not here. Edition.
Oh,
he ran there.
Sorry that I didn't say your name. Ryan.
I know.
Ryan told me right here. So Connor, Corgan, Yi Ching, and Josh, congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, sorry about that, honey. Congratulations. Well done. We also want to thank our teachers for getting our students to such a high level of excellence. The board extends congratulations to Ethan, Damien, Lydia, Connor, Corgan, and Yichen and Josh for their remarkable achievements at the Skill Canada's Provincial. The board is very proud of you and your young competitors' hard work and dedication that it took to get there, and we're pleased to recognize you with our thanks. So well done and congratulations. All right, moving on. If you guys want to escape, you can. Next, we always wonder what kids do when they go on school trips. And this one really excited us. So today we have the Cowichan Secondary School Education trip to Amsterdam, Belgium, France, and London for March 2026. And we had teachers Diana Well and Vera Rowan, Nicole Hartley, and students Malia, thank you. Oh gosh. Neva? Thank you, and Sophia. So, folks, step up and tell us about your wonderful adventures.
Who's running the presentation? I'll show you how it works. Yep, I'll show you how it works. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Don't you three look excited to tell us about your adventure?
So
There you are.
What you're seeing.
Okay.
That's your presentation. That's what's coming next. The best way is really just to go like that. Yep. Go like that.
Okay.
All yours.
Kiddos, the floor is yours. Tell us about your adventure.
Hi there, my name is Sophia. My name is Malia. And I'm Nevea. And we're going to be talking about our experience going on the Netherlands, France, Belgium, and London spring break tour. So there was a few purposes to this trip, such as learning outside of the classroom. We heard a lot about the things that we hear a lot about things doing with history, and we really got to go and see them in real life. It was really cool. And it was also an opportunity to build independence and teamwork. And it was also a big inspiration for any future travels. Okay, so for history, throughout our trip, we visited like a lot of different historical sites throughout Europe, and it was just really amazing to just be there. And because you learn about it, like we learn about it in class and socials and all that stuff, like everything that happened, but to really be there and actually like look and see like what it's like and what they actually had to go through, it's just like on another level, and it really makes you like have more of an understanding of like how it was for them.
Here are some pictures of the historical sites we went to. One thing that mattered a lot to me was the no man's land. It was really like surreal to be in a place that has like such a historical meaning. So.
A few museums we went to were these ones. One of the best ones I would say was the Anne Frank house. I think everyone knows her story, and it was really interesting to see exactly what her living conditions were during that time. It was very like eye-opening. They had a lot of the original pieces, and it was just really surprising overall.
Moving on to culture, I feel like culture played a big part during this trip because we got to experience all of the different languages and traditions and overall lifestyles. So it helped us definitely create a greater appreciation for the cultural diversity, and we learned a lot of unique stuff.
Presentations. So we had a lot of presentations throughout our trip. One of the ones that really stood out was clog and cheese making. The lady was very amazing, like great personality, great talking skills. She gave like a really in-depth tutorial on like the process of making cheese, and it was actually like really interesting and really an interactive experience. We also, really good part of it, we got to go around and sample like a lot of different kind of cheeses, and it was just, they were so amazing. And they had a little gift shop. You could also buy a bunch of their cheeses, so I brought a couple home, obviously. It was just really fun, especially the clog making. They have this cool machine, and it's just really amazing to see. Really fun.
Here's the clog that they made for us. They like engraved it, so it's nice that we'll have this forever at the school. Moving on to food. Food was definitely a big part during this trip because, you know, we got to like taste all the like different cultures in that way. And the program offered a lot of alternative foods for those with any like dietary restrictions, so it was very inclusive.
Yeah, so for tourism, obviously we visited a lot of really touristy areas and spots. And honestly, one of my favorites was probably the London Eye, right over there. It's like you go very high and it's just amazing to see the city from like a new perspective. Like you can see everything, Big Ben, the bridge. It's just really amazing experience and really good for pictures too, so.
So with international travel, we gained a lot of new life skills like teamwork, flexibility, responsibility, and a very big one was time management. We were given certain times to meet back at the checkpoint, and it was up to us to make sure that we were there on time, which was, I think, a bit of a challenge at first, but by the end, everyone had very much improved their time management skills. It also really taught us how to explore unfamiliar places on our own and really navigate how to make it through. It also taught us how to be very flexible with our schedule because sometimes there'd be a delay or something wouldn't go completely right, and we really had to learn how to work around that.
Challenges and funny moments. We experienced a lot of challenges throughout the trip, but we learned that challenges often become some of the most memorable parts of the trip. We overcame challenges such as staying awake through jet lag, and it was rough. Learning how to use like the way that certain people like the countries travel and their way around. And then here's a few pictures. In London, we made a giant bed, so we pushed all the beds together. So I feel like that was very memorable. And then, yeah.
Okay. This one here, it's a little weird, pixely. There was an older man walking his cat on the beach. It was really funny.
Here's some.
Yeah.
Here's some like just random pictures. It was really nice because they had a lot of fast food that we didn't have in Canada, so we definitely tried some of that. And yeah.
Yeah, I really like the McDonald's because they have like a whole new menu. Like they have mozzarella sticks and like new drinks and ice cream, and I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and this is a picture of the tube in London. That was our main form of transport. It was really interesting to learn how to navigate that.
And then the museums were also very interactive. That's a picture at the Passchendaele Museum. So we got to like try on the gear, and it was really cool.
Why the trip mattered. I think for me and a lot of the people who went on the trip, it was really like amazing to be able to get out of the country because for some people it was their first time leaving maybe even the province. So just that like independence that you get is really amazing, and it teaches you a lot, especially like learning about all the different historical sites. Like it just really puts everything into perspective, and there's a lot of feelings that are going on, and it just also just opens up like a love for travel because it's a really amazing thing to be able to do. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Okay, trustees, I know we all had questions before. Got any questions? Trustee Sousa?
Thank you. That was great. It clearly was a trip that really impacted you guys.
Yeah, it was.
Really,
Yeah.
there was a joy coming through you and the excitement. I'm just curious about if there was a particular place for each of you that really stood out amongst all the different places or sites.
Amsterdam
Yeah,
was a really
probably
cool
Amsterdam,
city.
yeah.
It was like really beautiful there, the buildings and all the canals. We did get a canal tour, and it was really interesting. Like all the tour guides that we had were very informative, and that really made it a great experience.
Trustee Thorne?
Just a comment, I was really pleased that you opened up with some of the highlights where the veterans are carved names. There are a lot of people from this district that are resting there. I have family there, probably some of these guys in here too. And to me, that as soon as I saw that, I thought, you guys had the heart in the right place. I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Lizzie?
First of all, I hope you said hi to my family. This is called clumping. I had the privilege of traveling to Vimy and the beaches in Normandy, and for me, I heard what you said. When you you can actually stand somewhere and imagine what it was. And I saw that you had the one with the trench with the bricks, and you realize that they're literally throwing bombs at each other by how far you can throw, and that's how close war was. And so that experience is very different than today.
Definitely.
It made you realize just how real it was. Like,
Yeah. I feel like at school you just like sort of learn about it and it doesn't really touch the heart, if that makes sense, to like sort of be there. It really like made you realize.
Ladies, what was your aha moment on the trip?
A moment. Speaking French. Oh, yeah. We were in French immersion, and in France we did get the opportunity to really see how good our French was.
And?
It was successful, I'd say.
I was kind of surprised actually on how well we could understand and communicate with them.
They really they just responded in French, so that was
that's a win.
Excellent. Trustee Croft?
Did you find it, I don't know if you speak Dutch, but did you find it a different experience when you could speak some of the language in French versus perhaps the Netherlands where you may not speak French? How would that compare?
Yes. We did have to use Google Translate a bit to communicate. We did try to learn a few words in Dutch. Not sure how well that went. But I would say that overall, we were able to find ways of communication with the locals, and majority of them did speak English.
Well, on behalf of the board, thank you for coming and sharing your trip. It kills us that we approve these trips so we never know what happened. So we're like, this is a trip, we want to know what happened. So thank you for taking your time out on a Tuesday meeting to come to the board and tell us about your amazing experience.
Thank you for having us.
And you're free to escape if you would like. Okay, they were cute as buttons, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mr. Sandcliffe, report of the closed meeting, please.
Thank you. The board met in closed session just prior to open, immediately prior to open. There were discussed staff appointments, bargaining update, contracts, and property matters. The agenda is not concluded, and the board will immediately go back into closed following open session.
Thank you. Action list. That's all on the agenda coming up. Superintendent, Mill Bay Nature School naming update.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, an update to the board. As per direction from the board, letter has been written and delivered to the Cowichan tribes.
Thank you. So we have a motion before us, folks, that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley renames Mill Bay Nature School as Mill Bay Elementary. Moved by Trustee Thorne, seconded by Trustee Doman. Any conversation? All those in favor? Opposed? Are you abstaining?
I am.
Thank you. Motion carries. 7.3, update reconfiguration of Chemainus Crofton Schools. Associate Superintendent Irene Reynolds.
I square on my face, so good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to update you regarding the grade 7s remaining at Chemainus and Crofton Elementary School. I would like to begin by acknowledging that this process has been guided by Board Policy 14, which you adopted in November 2025, which I can't decide if that seems like yesterday or a long time ago. But in that policy revision for reconfiguration of schools, you did determine and really identify a clear process that you wanted to set forward for our community that increased in clear transparency for community. And as part of that process, Superintendent Davey has drafted a term of reference that we are using to guide the process of really making sure that we are prepared for our grade 7 students remaining at the 2 elementary schools in the fall. So I'll give you a brief update and then be happy to answer any questions you have about this process. So we have held to date 2 meetings with our partner groups that include the Teachers Union, QP, USW, the administrators of the schools, teacher representatives, PAC, First Nations, and the Chemainus Community Schools Association, and probably some that I may be forgetting. We have asked that our principals of the schools chair those meetings in order to demonstrate the shared leadership. And we are hosting the meetings at each of the different sites to ensure that everyone involved has access and gets to see the sites that were impacted. We would like to update you that Chemainus Elementary will have 2 additional divisions in the fall. Crofton Elementary will have 1 additional division. Those reflect the 3 grade 7 divisions that were at Chemainus Secondary. So it ended up, based on projections, being a direct translation back to the elementary schools. 2 teachers at Chemainus Secondary have chosen to join the staff at Chemainus Elementary. 1 will be on leave the next year, but all those positions are any vacancies are being posted and filled through our processes this spring. We also have invited guests from technology and facilities to join us to update and ensure the school is both prepared with all of the equipment, Wi-Fi, technology needs of the grade 7s being back in the building, as well as ensuring portables, classrooms are open and ready to welcome students. The Chemainus Secondary School has worked with us very closely to ensure that the furniture that is currently being utilized by our grade 7s will be moved directly to the elementary schools. Speaking as a former teacher, sometimes we want to make sure that the good furniture gets to where it's supposed to be. I'll leave it at that. We did recognize that Chemainus Community Schools Association would be most impacted during this first year. We know that this coming fall will be the most full that Chemainus Elementary will be for the next several years based on declining enrollment. So it will require that we utilize all spaces for divisions. So we're going to go back to a shared space for Chemainus Community Schools Association. They'll primarily be able to operate their before school, after school programming through the gym. You, on May 12th, approved a resolution that has allowed us to pursue additional minor capital for a gym divider to support part of this process. But even if that's not granted, we are confident that through licensing, we'll be able to maintain the Chemainus, the before school and after school programming at that site. So our next meeting will be on June 22nd at Chemainus Secondary. We're going to be working to make sure any library materials, resources, I don't know what's behind me, okay, I was just curious, I saw you all looking there, that library materials, resources that are appropriate for grade 7s will return to the elementary schools, and we are prepared to supplement if the schools are finding they're lacking materials or resources within the confines of our current budget. To be very specific, Chemainus Elementary this past fall had 317 students. We project in fall of 2026, 358 students. And Crofton Elementary had projected 155 students this past fall. And this coming fall 2026, we'll have 181 students. So we really appreciate your guidance during this process, but also hope that the updates provides the transparency that aligns with the board policy that was passed in November.
Thank you. Trustees, questions? Trustee Doman.
With your meetings, are you still seeing that the community is generally positive of this move?
Through the chair? Absolutely. We've offered the opportunity for FAQs to be developed or ongoing involvement through the media and social media, and we're having absolutely no questions. Some of the students who were originally slightly disappointed because they had friends at the secondary schools have quickly acclimated and are excited to stay at their elementary schools because they realize now they have another year of being the oldest student at the school.
Any other questions, trustees? Associate Superintendent Reynolds, thank you so much for your briefing, and thank you and your team for doing such a great job at moving through this process with the community of Chemainus and Crofton. It's appreciated. Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. We'll start here. Personnel items on your desk. It's an updated list of principal, vice principal assignments for 2026-2027 to reflect changes to April Mount Beau, principal and vice principal, and Drinkwater Elementary vice principal. So this reflects Carmen Boudreau as acting principal at April Mount Beau, Grant Mellenstrand moving from Drinkwater Elementary to vice principal at Ecole Mount Beau, and Angela Campbell moving from teacher at Crofton Elementary to acting vice principal at Drinkwater Elementary. And these updates were communicated to schools and to district staff on May 22nd. More information, district retirement dinner, June 8th, so coming up on Monday, 4:30 to 7:30. It's at the Cook and Butcher at the Cowichan Oceanfront Suites Hotel. What else? Group photo at 4:45. So, and the event ends at 7:30. So, looking forward to joining trustees for that event. District scholarship update. There are photos, and you will see through these. District scholarship presentations were held during the week of May 4th at each of our secondary schools, while card selections were held the following week at the district office, and trustees were invited to join in the presentations. We're sharing some photos taken during the presentations at Seavolk and the Grove, Cowichan Secondary, Lake Cowichan School, and Chemaina Secondary. School district was allotted a total of 68 scholarships for $1,250 each, for a total amount of $85,000. And we judged a total of 97 district scholarship presentations by students this year, and the breakdown of the presentations for each school is as follows. So Chemaina Secondary, 11, Seavolk and the Grove, 14, Francis Kelsey, 23, Lake Cowichan, 10, and Cowichan Secondary School, 39. And the judging has been completed now, and names are being collected and reported back to the Ministry of Education and Childcare. Thank you. Superintendent's update, acknowledgements and appreciation. Thank you to all those who were involved in the Nations Rising District Indigenous Student Leadership Conference on May 22nd, especially Hannah Morales, District Coordinator of Indigenous Student Success. I'd also like to acknowledge and congratulate Sean Batty for being re-elected as President of the Lake Cowichan Teachers Association, and also acknowledge and congratulate Adam Kletchy for being re-elected by acclamation as President of local QP Executive for a 3-year term. Adam has been the President for 5 years. Following the District Parent Advisory Council AGM and elections, I congratulate Kirsten Timko for being re-elected as Chair for DPAC for the 2026-2027 school year, along with Lindsay Stewart, who was re-elected as Vice Chair, and Alicia Blackburn re-elected as Secretary of DPAC. So congratulations to each of those individuals. Provincial assessment, the June grade 10 literacy and numeracy assessments and grade 12 literacy assessment dates are June 8th to the 19th. Grade 10 literacy and numeracy assessments are provincial assessments that assess student proficiency in literacy and numeracy. They are graduation requirements, and students take the assessments in their grade 10 year. Grade 12 literacy assessment is a provincial assessment that assesses students' proficiency in literacy, and is a graduation requirement and completed during the student's grade 12 year. Inclusive learning updates. On May 14th and 15th, Cowichan Valley School District hosted a collaborative learning media assessment project. Learning media assessment is a process that teachers of students with visual impairments use to determine the optimal reading media. That could be print, braille, audio, and for students who are blind or have low vision. So this is to support students and educational teams through a collaborative team-based process. Students rotate through stations, evaluating their oral reading fluency, optimal font size and type, written expression, phonological processing, and phonics. Student reading stamina and listening comprehension. And the goal is to bring more robust data and recommendations to what will work best for learners to read efficiently, comfortably, and joyfully. Early learning update, KinderQuest, and there's a poster here with information for you. Planning is well underway for KinderQuest 2026-2027, once again occurring at Wendy's house in the week prior to the start of the school year. Our district resource teachers and inclusive learning coordinators look forward to welcoming students starting in kindergarten in September, and registration has just begun, and we look forward to future updates with enrollment numbers. Nations Rising, as I mentioned, there's some photos here for you. Sharing photos of the 3rd Annual Nations Rising District Indigenous Student Leadership Conference hosted by our District Indigenous Student Leadership Group on Friday, May 22nd at Vancouver Island's University Cowichan campus and Cowichan Secondary. Approximately 100 Indigenous students in grades 8 to 12 attended from our secondary schools, including students from the Gulf Islands and Pacific Rim school districts who were invited to join for the first time. The day featured keynote Shayla Stonechild, who shared her inspiring story. Students visited various workshops such as cedar weaving, 3D printing, carving, boxing, spray painting, creating vision boards, and learning about native plants. And again, thanks to Hannah Morales for her work in organizing this great event. Alexander Elementary celebrated Terry Daniels, and there's a photo here. It's for his 75th birthday. And Terry is a Indigenous support worker with they held a school-wide assembly on May 7th. And at this assembly, the school recognized Terry for 40 years of working as our district's SMNI. Several songs were sung by students, and there was cake for all in attendance. And Terry was also presented with a cedar hat, as shown in the photo, that was woven by many Alexander students over the weeks leading up to his birthday. Congratulations to Terry, and thank you to him for his dedication to our students as well. Paulson Elementary Dinosaur Day, photos here, sharing photos of Paulson Elementary enjoying another fun-filled Dinosaur Day on Friday, May 15th. Students and staff enjoyed dressing up as dinosaurs, bringing dinosaur books and toys, and learning more interesting facts about the wonderful world of dinosaurs. Crofton Elementary, photos here. On Friday, May 15th, all Crofton students gathered in the gym for a whole school luncheon. Egg and vegetable fried rice, mixed green salad, apple cake was provided to all students by Nourish Cowichan. You can see all the smiling faces in the photos, and time was spent at the beginning of the luncheon talking about the importance of Nourish Cowichan to their school and community. Crofton PAC volunteers also served all 175 students at this sit-down meal. Favorite quotes was, "This is the best rice I've ever tasted. These buns are delicious, and can we do this again next week?" The school thanks Nourish Cowichan for their help in making the luncheon possible. More photos here from Shemena Secondary as they began May with a school-wide mental health and wellness day focused on connection, healthy living, and student well-being. Earlier this spring, students in grades 7 through 12 completed an anonymous mental health survey. Their feedback highlighted a strong interest in learning more about mental health, emotional well-being, and strategies to support healthy living. In response to this important student voice, this school welcomed Dr. Jordan Herbison from Vancouver Island University to speak with the student body about mental health and resiliency. Dr. Herbison provided meaningful insights about emotional wellness and shared practical strategies students can use in their daily lives to support their mental health. Semena Secondary School Talent Show was a celebration of courage, creativity, and community spirit. Several students bravely put themselves out there with comedy, singing, and musical performances. The support from the audience made the event even more special, and to kick off the fun, staff opened the show with a memorable recorder performance that had everyone laughing together, and thanks to everyone who participated and cheered on their peers. Chemaina Secondary was honored to welcome Speaker Raj Chauhan, along with the Director of Parliamentary Education, Karen Aiken, for an engaging and interactive visit with students. Grade 7 Humanities and Political Science classes participated in a model parliamentary session, which deepened their understanding of government in a meaningful, hands-on way. And special recognition goes to students Maximo, Taylor, Haley for their leadership in helping facilitate the model parliament activity. Francis Kelsey Secondary junior boys rugby team and junior girls soccer teams both advanced to the islands. Francis Kelsey Grad Council planned and organized a wonderful grade 12 dance for over 160 grads in attendance. And the school has held 3 food safe sessions for students to be trained and receive a food safe certificate. So month of June, as we're aware, is Pride Month. Pride flag is flying at the district office, and many activities are happening at schools throughout the month of June in recognition of Pride Month. The district is pleased to be able to support the message of diversity and inclusion represented by those activities. Please join the school district group at the Cowichan Community Parade on Sunday, June 21st. And this will kick off at the atrium at Cowichan Secondary School, as it will be open for about an hour before the parade for district staff, students, and parents to gather and get ready for the walk as we walk behind the school district banner.
At what time, Superintendent?
Let me see. Again, I apologize, Chair. There is no time listed, but we'll get that out.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. As was brought forward by the Chair, BC Province of British Columbia has proclaimed in 2011 that the week of June 1st through the 7th, 2026, is the BC Child and Youth in Care Week. So, important week. Especially as we're working to support our priority learners. Events. The BC School Superintendents Association Island Chapter meeting was held on May 14th to 15th in Parksville. I was able to attend that event along with Associate Superintendent Darlene Reynolds. Upcoming meetings, Canadian School Boards Association 2026 Trustee Gathering on Education and Reconciliation. And so we will be in attendance at this event on July 5th through the BC School Superintendents Association Summer Leadership Conference. And we'll also be in attendance at this event toward the end of August, along with our Assistant Superintendent and 3 new Directors of Instruction. School visits, just a note here, been able to get out since the last board meeting to Cowichan Secondary School, Tanzer Elementary, Discovery Elementary, Lake Cowichan School for the elementary program, Bench Elementary, Ecole Mount Provo Elementary, Cohiman Elementary, Francis Kelsey Secondary, and attended the district scholarship presentations at Francis Kelsey, Cowichan, Lake Cowichan, and also the wildcard selection, as was noted. And upcoming grads and year-end events that I will be attending: Cowichan Secondary School this evening, Lake Cowichan School on Thursday, school district retirement event on next Monday, Francis Kelsey Scholarship and Bursary presentations on June 10th, International Programs year-end celebration on June 11th, and Indigenous Education grad ceremony on June 11th. Chemainus Secondary scholarships and bursary presentations are on June 15th. Francis Kelsey Secondary grad ceremony is on June 19th. Lake Cowichan School grad is on June 20th. The Open Learning grad ceremonies on June 23rd, and Cowichan Secondary grad ceremonies on June 25th. And I'm greatly looking forward to being in attendance at each of those events. For board action, so we're there?
Yep.
Yeah. National Day for Indigenous Peoples Day, June 21st, 2026. And Board Chair, I'll turn it over to you.
Folks, we have a motion before us that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley recognizes National Indigenous Peoples Day, June 21st, 2026, moved by Trustee Sousa, seconded by Trustee Lise. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, Board Chair. I would like to invite Assistant Superintendent Tammy Renier to come forward and share an update on the school calendar process for 2026-2027.
Can I quickly, to the chair, the QSS opens at 10 for Pride Parade. Pride Parade starts at 11.
Thank you so much.
In front of you is the proposed calendar, so I'd just like to share that for the board's action, a proposed amendment to the school calendar for 26-27 is on your desks. The 26-27 calendar is the last year of our previously approved 3-year school calendar. Each year we determine if amendments are required. Once the CBTF confirms the dates of the non-instructional and professional development days, it's also a time to consider any other amendments. A board has the ability to amend a school calendar under 87.021 of the School Act, and the school calendar regulation sets the parameters for calendar amendments. For the purpose of Section 8702, school calendar amendment of the Act, a board must make publicly available proposed amendments to a calendar at least 1 month before making the amendments. As previously shared, the Cowichan Valley Teachers Union has confirmed their non-instructional development days for 26-27. This proposed amendment looks to increase instructional minutes. This will change the instructional hours to 886 for elementary and 969 for secondary. This proposed amendment also has 2-hour early dismissal on the opening day of school, September 8th. 1 hour early dismissals for reporting as previously shared on October 1st and April 1st, and the 2-hour early dismissals for PLCs, October 21st, November 25th, February 24th, April 21st, and May 19th. And to the chair, there's a motion.
Trustees, any questions? Nope, seeing none. Right, wrong page. So we have a motion before us that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley makes proposed amendment to the school calendar for 2026-2027 publicly available for a month before making the amendment. Moved by Trustee Croft, seconded by Trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Thanks, folks. And thank you, Assistant Superintendent Reynolds. Oh my God, Renier.
Okay.
That's weird. It's gonna be weird. Sorry, ladies.
Share brains.
All right, thank you, Superintendent, Secretary Treasurer.
Thank you. In your package, this document was presented at the Board Education and Business Committee when we last met last week, but in your package is the 2026-2029 financial plan. This document accompanies the board's strategic priorities beyond education 2025-2030. So the intent of this document is to look forward and see the position the board would be in and make assumptions around inflation and make assumptions around funding if government levels of funding continue. I won't go through it in great detail, but it does outline the budget timelines for transparency with the public, how the budget is developed. Starts in December and ends in May, so we are very active for quite some time. explains the special purpose funds. The budget is a consolidation of operating, special purpose, and capital funding. Goes into how the strategic priorities align with the budget. So we make some connections between budget decisions and the board's strategic priorities. And we move on to enrollment projections. And as you see in this slide, the board has reached a peak of enrollment in 2023-2024 and has begun a period of decline due to birth rates and in-migration trends changing. We then try to estimate the grant based on assuming full funding of teacher collective agreement wage increases. We attempt to estimate the ISP revenues, as that's the major source of revenue outside of the province. We look at the effects of staffing, so how many positions we expect the board will have moving forward with the budget and with the enrollment decisions that we have. And then finally, we move to the multi-year one-pager, what would happen, status quo, declining enrollment, no funding increases, inflationary pressures, and you begin to see the decline of the surplus being drawn on more next year, and then significantly more in 2027 begins to draw more significantly than 26-27, and that escalates in 28-29. So without inflationary funding, the board will have to make budget decisions, making adjustments to service levels. So that's the purpose of this document, is just sort of to give a snapshot at a very high level of what it looks like moving forward. But behind this spreadsheet, which is completely invisible up there, I realize, are a lot of working papers that help us arrive at that position that all things predictable, in 3 years there should be a shortfall of about $3.5 million.
Trustees, I need to say, you said that so chipper, kind of cracked me up. Sorry.
You never know what's going to happen. We don't have a crystal ball, but it's what we're, it's a projection. Okay, sorry it's so small. I didn't realize for anybody in the audience that's invisible. But it's on our website. It will be on our website if it isn't now, and you'll be able to look at that document if you choose to. Next thing, we are approaching summertime, and this is when we like to put out a notification to the public of summer hours. It doesn't mean that somebody knocking on the door at the board office isn't going to get in here, but it does mean that we move to closing the board office as most staff take their summer breaks, and we're down to basically the finance and human resource staff through most of the summer. So there's hours for board office at the top, central receiving, the operations department, which are very active in the summer, and transportation and grounds also very active in the summer, doing the projects when school's out of session. So that's for information. Moving to the next portion here, and this was for action. The board is required to submit a 27-28 major capital submission. So what are the projects that would, again, invisible to anybody who's not looking at my monitor?
Oh my gosh, it's almost invisible on our sheets, for goodness sake.
I'm just going to zoom it right open here. And so looking at additions, knowing that the district is in a position of declining enrollment, where the next pressure may be is Maple Bay Elementary, as that is one of the catchment areas that is continuing to see growth. It is an area where the only area so far where we see kindergarten registrations exceeding expectations already this year. So we have put a proposal in for 4 classroom addition in the event that catchment continues to grow. That would require, down here, site acquisition, some property for Maple Bay to actually have that happen. The site is only as big as it is. There is no space for expansion. There would have to be an acquisition, probably from North Cowichan. We look at new schools, of course, keeping it on the ministry's radar that Bell McKinnon one day will develop and has significant potential budget or population pressures. Sufficient capacity at Alex Aiken in the meantime, in the short term. So I don't actually anticipate there'll be any new schools, although I did see a realtor advertising recently that there's a new school coming in the Bell McKinnon corridor as they're trying to sell some properties there, but that is not the case. There has been no announcements or for a new school. And then we have replacement renovation. This is where we have told the ministry the number one priorities are, and it's on Chemainus Secondary. So we believe that the seismic project at Chemainus Secondary to be the number one priority, and there's also a need for significant upgrades with phone system, windows, building envelope at that site. It makes sense to try to bundle those two projects together in our ask. You don't do a seismic renovation without also doing the other renovation, and you would make no sense to do the maintenance renovations without doing the seismic at the same time. So that's what we told the ministry the number one priority was. It's actually Chemainus Secondary. So that is the capital plan. And you can take any questions, and then there's a motion on your agenda.
Trustee Sousa, question.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just curious about the classroom additions. Are those by way of portables, or what does that look like?
Most likely they would be the new modular construction that the ministry is supporting. So that's, or additions onto the school. I'm going to guess that with the way the ministry is moving into accelerating construction and decreasing construction costs, they would probably be a modular complex. But we are asking for just, they would determine that. But it is looking just to, in the future, those are areas of potential growth that may need to expand.
Any other questions? Trustee Doman?
What about the Quamachin seismic upgrade? Is that gone forever, or?
No, it's still on the list. It's really hard to see up there. I recognize Trustee Doman. It is number 3. So this is organized based on the ministry's priorities on the number of high-risk blocks. And so Chemainus falls at the top of the ministry's seismic concern, then Alexander, then Quamachin. So we've asked for them in that order because it's most likely to be prioritized in that way at the ministry. They wouldn't fund Quamachin over Chemainus if Chemainus has a greater need for.
And what's their appetite for funding these?
They do not have much of a budget at the moment. Most of the budget is in expansion catch-up. Districts that grew rapidly, even though the provincial enrollment is now on a decline, some areas are still experiencing some increase, like Langley and Sooke. So and many districts like Surrey or again Sooke or Kelowna, they expanded very, very quickly where they weren't able to actually keep up with the infrastructure. So those are priority projects to replace those portables with more permanent solutions. I don't believe there is a high degree of probability that when this is announced next March, that the board will receive any of these projects, just based on the fact that the ministry's budget is really prioritized towards those expanding districts.
Any other questions? None? All right, well, we have a motion before us, folks, in accordance with provisions under section 142A of the School Act. The Board of Education of School District 79, Cowichan Valley hereby approves the proposed 5-year capital plan major capital programs for 2027-2028 as provided in the 5-year capital plan summary for 2027-2028 submitted to the Ministry of Education and Childcare. Moved by Trustee Sousa, seconded by Trustee Lise. All those in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sandquist.
Thank you.
Indigenous Education Council Superintendent.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, just highlights from the May 6, 2026 Indigenous Education Council meeting. 5 of 7 voting nations were represented, along with the Cowichan Valley Métis Association, the Friendship Centre, and the Inuit Collective Society of BC Mi'kmaq. Kelly Gerben, Vice Principal at Cowichan Secondary School, gave the land acknowledgement. Fred Wilson, who was the acting chair, invited attendees to the meeting. And Dolly Sylvester, District Elder, opened the meeting in a good way. The minutes of the April 1st, 2026 regular meeting and April 15th, 2026 special meeting were approved. Jason Sandquist, Secretary Treasurer, updated the Council that the Tribal Journeys canoe purchase order has been submitted and the estimated date of delivery is mid-June. Cowichan Secondary School Vice Principal Kelly Gerben and Alexander Elementary School Wakaminam Language and Culture Assistant Claudia Sylvester presented the draft of the Caring for Place document. Council continued discussions regarding the opportunity to determine 2 Indigenous focused positions within the Integrated Child and Youth Care team. The council was informed that due to calendar adjustmts required to meet instructional minutes in a shortened school year, September non-instructional day, traditionally focused on Indigenous education, will be moved to November. Council members expressed interest in strengthening land-based learning experiences, including opportunities for educators to engage directly with local nations and learn about ongoing stewardship and conservation work such as salmon conservation. Jason Sanquist, Secretary Treasurer, reported that the financial forecast remains stable with a projected surplus at June 30th, and the council determined will determine how to best use surplus funds. Roxanne Harris, Director of Education with Cowichan Tribes, reached out to Kerry Reid of the Qualicum First Nation regarding travel journeys, but has not heard back. The council received an overview of the ministry's 2024-2025 How Are We Doing report, and Mary Peter, District Principal to Indigenous Education, shared an opportunity to support capacity building within the IACs on Vancouver Island. Council engaged in discussion regarding the district's approach to Indigenous Peoples Day and the broader integration of Indigenous learning throughout the school year. Council considered a proposal to reallocate surplus funds to support enhanced Indigenous education, INED staffing at the secondary level. And the council continued its discussion regarding the Big House and highlighted that approaches to supporting students during cultural participation are highly individualized and family-driven. It was further noted that the processes exist to recognize cultural participation for credit through nation-supported accreditation while respecting the privacy of cultural practices. And finally, the next meeting will be held June 3rd, 2026, tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the QSS boardroom. Thank you, Chair.
Schedule a meeting, upcoming events. It's pretty short and sweet because we already have September on there. I was actually confused. Why is that so long? It's 5 months a date, so thank you, Michelle. You're on it. And then we have correspondents who is very kind of VIU to reach out and ask us for some thoughts on what we would be looking for. And so this is aligned to who we are as a district and our priorities. So that's just here for information, and also here for information is just the letter letting Cowichan Tribes know that the name for Mill Bay Nature School was changing as requested at the last meeting. Before I get to question period, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to our partners. Thank you to all of our staff. This board has kept you guys incredibly busy this year. And we want to say thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with us when we never took our foot off the gas, even though I asked if we should. Somebody said, no, go ahead, keep going. So if you guys are tired. But just thank you for hanging in there with us. And when we're having our own challenges and struggles, thank you. Same to our partners, thank you for hanging in there with us, and sometimes we'd take some turns, but eventually you would see why we're making those turns and supported us, so we appreciate all the support that you've given this board, and another successful school year. And so just a quick thank you to say how much we appreciate you. Michelle, it's been a hell of a curve for you, but you hung in there and you have got us straight, and I just want you to know that we appreciate you for coming in and taking care of us and making sure that we're going in the right places at the right time. You've been amazing support, so thank you. So with that said, this is our last board meeting of this school year. Trustees, we have done great. I'm super proud of who we are as a board and as a team. I think we've been an excellent team this year, and I look forward to us all coming back together in September. So happy grad journeys, happy scholarship journeys. I wish I could be joining you this year. However, that has come to a quick halt, except for my quick trip of bacon to Lake Cowichan. Mr. Sandquist, do we have anybody online with any questions for question period?
We do have an online audience. There's nothing entered so far in the question and answer, but we'll just make it known that if audience members wish to ask a question related to an item that is on the agenda, they may use the question and answer by stating their name, address, and their question. And we'll just wait a moment for that to happen. And we also have our gallery audience who may have questions as well.
Is there any questions from our gallery? What? Sean, been given the floor and nothing. Nothing from the gallery and nothing from our audience online?
I don't see anything being typed in the online.
Excellent. Well, folks, for the 2025-2026 school year coming to a close, motion to adjourn. Moved by Trustee Sousa, seconded by Trustee Lise. All those in favor? Perfect. And trustees, just remember we have a 5-minute break and then we'll be back in the closed.
Jason, we were online.
See you Thursday.
I know.